everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's just put some music in the back. In the background. Okay. So good morning, everybody. Welcome to Friday Live. Sorry there was no Wednesday Live because as planned originally. Oh, 1 minute. I need to plug my laptop in. Otherwise, we're going to die in a few minutes. So, yeah. So something came up on Wednesday, so I couldn't do Wednesday Live. So I'm going to do that today. It's a beautiful day outside. It looks like it's a day that should be down at the beach. Not too hot, not too cold, sunny, not too much wind. But obviously that's not happening. No beach time now, right now. So just to continue the healthy treats, you know, for kids. I found this recipe. My daughter absolutely loves peanut butter, and I found this recipe that is made with peanut butter, but it's gluten-free, and I'm not 100% sure if it's going to work out. So I did make a batch because it apparently takes up to 2 hours to set. So I did make a batch earlier, and it's now been in the fridge for 2 hours. It doesn't look like the picture that they sent, that they've got, because the picture that it looks like actual like cookie biscuits or squares, you know, like proper squares kind of thing, and it's not looking like that. Maybe mine's a little too thin. I feel that possibly it's a little too soft. So let me show you what it looks like so far. So for me, that's far too soft. It should have, yeah, and it's not, it hasn't gone, it's still wet, so I can't even pick it up. Like, yes, I can cut it, but I can't even pick it up. So it's meant to be like an actual cookie, not this gooey whatever. Okay, so I'm just going to change things up a bit. It tastes good. I won't fault that, but it's not looking correct. And I've followed the recipe to a T. So now I'm going to change it up a bit, because I was hoping that I'd be able to go and voila, here's, you know, one that's done. Because it takes 2 hours to set. Because I keep picking these damn recipes where I make them and then it takes hours to set and then you don't see the end result. Although you can go into my Facebook page and check out, you know, I would have taken a photograph. So in my experience with gluten-free stuff, so in this recipe, it uses, what's the +2? So it uses coconut flour, half a cup of mashed banana, a quarter cup of peanut butter, a quarter cup of honey or maple syrup or some kind of syrup. So I've only got normal syrup, so I'm using the normal syrup, and half a teaspoon of vanilla essence and some chocolate chips. Okay, but it really isn't coming out the consistency that it should be coming, which for me is a problem. So I feel like it needs more of the coconut flour. So I have a mix of coconut flour, tapioca flour. There's a third one. Can't remember what the third one is. So I do a mix of that because that's what I use to bake my cakes and stuff when I do gluten-free. But in my experience, when I do gluten-free, anything gluten-free needs xanthan gum. Otherwise, it doesn't combine. because it doesn't have any kind of elasticity or anything. But this is a cookie, so it needs to be, it's a no-bake cookie, basically. So for me, it needs to be a lot thicker and harder when it's going into the fridge, so that when it sets, it'll come out hard. You need to be able to pick it up as a square. So yeah, so I'm actually going to, I put white chocolate chips in there, but now I've decided not to, so I'm going to make this next batch, and I'm going to do it, and let's hope that with my changes, it's going to come out a little bit better. I'm actually going to make it no longer gluten-free, because I'm going to actually do crushed Oreo cookies inside it. That's what I've decided to do. So I'm going to crush up some Oreo cookies and put that in instead of chocolate chips. My daughter loves Oreo cookies. So, yeah, I'm going to see if that works better. So I'm actually adding xanthan gum in this time, which the recipe doesn't tell you to do that. And then I'm going to add, instead of half a cup of the gluten-free flour, I'm going to put in a cup, or maybe 2/3 of a cup, because yeah, the half cup is definitely not enough. I don't feel it's not, like, I can't even pick that up and roll it. It's too wet. So I want to be able to roll it at least. So if I can roll it, then I can, oh, that's an idea. See, now I've really got a different if you can roll it, you can dunk it in chocolate, and then you've got a, but this is too thin to roll. It's too thin. So even, actually, that's a good idea though. I think that's what I might actually do. I'm not going to do it as squares. I'm going to get it to the consistency so I can roll it, and then I'll roll them. I like that idea. I'll roll them and probably dip them almost like a cake pop, but I'm going to make, or like a truffle, and I'll make them smaller. That is such a good idea. That's what I'm going to do. Oh, yes. But yes, so this is a gluten-free recipe, but obviously because I'm going to go now put Oreo cookies in, it's no longer gluten-free. But I'm going to say it's roughly a healthy-ish treat, because it's not loaded with sugar. And that's always like the biggest thing, that it's not loaded with added sugar, right? That's our biggest problem. And obviously I'm going to be taking instead of doing chocolate chips, Oreo cookies, and then I'm actually going to dip them in chocolate. And what I'll do is I'll dip them in, oh, that's such a good idea. Just like, this was not what I was thinking when I originally did this, but I might actually, so what I'll do them like a truffle, and then I'll pop them into little truffle cases, and then yeah, and then I'll see if my daughter, if it's a winner or whatever, and I'm sure she'll hopefully enjoy it, because I know that she likes the cookie truffles that I make. So this will be similar. It will have peanut butter and banana, and so it will have an array of flavors. An array of flavors, maybe too many flavors. Okay, so having said that, I need sorry, I have literally just changed the recipe and what I was gonna do. So yeah, just bear with me, because then I'll just need to go get a few things. One of the things I'll have to do is I'll have to go and get some truffle cases, which I have. Okay, so in a bowl, in a nice clean bowl, you're going to, you're going to put one banana. So now again, I know it's going to look really gross, is a really ripe banana. So my bananas look kind of gross on screen because they've been in the deep freeze. So they go black in the deep freeze. But this is, again, I can't explain, this is the best way to have any bananas that you need for baking in any way. So we're just going to mash the banana up with a fork. I think what I need to do Just going to see if I can change the angle of my camera to higher up. Go so that you can see more inside the bowl. Okay, so I'm just going to mash it up. And remember, when you're using banana for any kind of baking, it's used as a substitute for an egg. So it's it's a combining agent as well as a rising agent. Then we need, what did they say? Quarter cup of peanut butter. So I'm going to put a quarter cup of peanut butter in there. And my daughter loves peanut butter that much that we buy the big 1 liter tub. And we go through it really fast. That's what we should have bought. Sorry. I just suddenly realized we went on a bulk shopping spree last week because I needed to buy stock. And I forgot that one of the things we should have got was these bulk tubs of peanut butter. But it's all good. And obviously for her, it must be smooth. I'm not sure why, because she loves chocolate, chocolate bars that have nuts in it, actual crunchy nuts. But yet she refuses to eat peanut butter that's got nuts in it. So funny. Oh, where's my music? Music. Let's put some music in. There we go. Don't know why it wasn't playing. Okay, so then it's peanut butter. Then we want a quarter cup of syrup. So obviously, ideally, you want honey or another syrup that's not, that's better for them. But I only have syrup, proper syrup. So I'm going to use that. I don't think it's going to make any difference. It's still a liquid form. Sorry. Okay. I'm gonna go wash my hands quick. I just don't want to leave my cup inside there. Okay, so right. So then that's that. Then we're going to do half a teaspoon of vanilla essence. I don't know if blitzing it with, like a beef, handheld beater would help and probably maybe make it more fluffy. Because they did say for the mixture to be cohesive and creamy. So I'm not sure if mixing it by hand will give you that consistency, but it seems to be okay. I'll just beat it a bit by hand. See, now for me, that is super liquid. So I think that's also the reason why it's not coming out. Maybe it's because my banana was frozen. Because then there will be added water in there because of it being frozen. That could be because they never said a ripe, a very ripe banana, like if you're doing like a banana bread, you want a ripe banana like this. So maybe with this, they're actually saying a normal banana because you have to mash it and it makes it thicker. Maybe that's where I went wrong. But we're going to change it up anyway, so all good. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do excess flour. And I've got it in the tub. So I think this would be better because obviously it's not if it was normal flour, it's basically raw flour. Like eating raw cookie dough, I suppose. And then, so basically for, with xanthan gum, never get the name right. For every cup and a half of gluten-free flour that you use, you need to put 3 teaspoons of xanthan gum. Now this, because gluten-free flour has no gluten in it to give the elasticity in your flour, is the reason why you use the xanthan gum. So for me, if you do anything with gluten-free flour, you always have to. It's just a given. You always put the xanthan gum in it so that you can get that proper consistency. Now for me, that is so much better than what it was. And I made it earlier. Definitely better. This is consistent enough for me to actually do like a roll. But obviously I don't want to make it so now it's all like squishy. That's why I want to put in the Oreo, crushed Oreos. It's very sticky and very wet, but it's okay. It's not even sticky. It's not coming off of my hand, so it's all right. So I'm going to say that this is probably the better consistency than what it was that I made earlier on. Okay. It's very, because you're using syrup and peanut butter, it's very light on, it's not super sweet or anything like that. There's not, obviously, because there's no sugar. So I'm just going to chop up some Oreos, crush them up with a knife. Maybe do one more. So what I'll probably do is I'll do a couple with that are going to be with no chocolate encased, and then I'll do a couple where I'll put them in chocolate. See how they come out. So let me just put a parchment paper down. Just so that makes it for easy cleaning. So I'm actually going to roll these. Ring off. So let's pop that into here. Peanut butter Oreo cookies. So, if you haven't noticed, Easter's coming. Monday is Valentine's Day. Really, I'm not doing anything for Valentine's Day with regards to my business. I just decided it was not working out. So I'm not going to make them very big, huh? I'm going to make them little, like bite size. Like that. And pop them like that. So I'm not doing anything for Valentine's Day. I found it to be not, I don't know if it's, you know, if it's happening in the world at the moment that people are not celebrating certain things. So yeah, I just, last year it was not a good idea. So I'm not doing it this year, but obviously I am, however, going to be doing something for Easter. And I will be doing the Easter market like I did for Christmas market. I'm going to be doing the Easter market. And so I'm going to be having a series from next week. I'm going to have a series of all that I'm doing for Easter. And the first up is I'm going to be making smashed Easter eggs. So that there will be Easter eggs filled with sweeties. And yeah, so we'll see how we'll decorate them and make them look pretty and all that kind of stuff for Easter. And we'll do a smash of it, and that should be fun. But that is one of the things that we're going to do. Yeah, we've got a few different things that we've got planned. We're going to do an Easter grazing box. So this live's not going to be very long because of what I'm making. So, and it doesn't take very long. I feel like they need to, I could. See, so now my problem is that this is meant to be healthy treats, right? For your kids. And then I go along and change it up so that it's probably not healthy anymore. I just feel like things like this is just a little bit better than, you know, it's got peanut butter in, which is a good protein and a good fat. And then, you know, it's just better than them eating actual chocolate or, you know, eating hordes of cake or whatever, you know. Okay, well, some of them are a bit small. There's one or two that are a bit tiny, so I'm going to just add to the tiny ones. I don't have much left in here. And then just thought of something. Oh, now that one's too big. So I could dip them in chocolate, or I could just thought of something else. What I might actually do is, because of the Oreo cookie, I'm going to crush a couple of cookies in my Bay mix. Don't want a lot. Actually, I don't need to crush because apparently I already have some Oreos crushed. So I won't be crushing those Oreos. I already have. I use crushed Oreos and crushed tennis biscuits and all that kind of stuff for, like when I'm making cakes, and sand. They're great to make it look like sand and stuff like that. So, already got, so I'm just going to roll this in Oreo cookie. Instead, I think that this is going to be much nicer than me dunking it in chocolate. I don't know why these are called blondes. I don't know what blondes mean. Never heard of it before. But yeah, I just like the idea that it was a no-bake kind of treat. She may or may not like it, so we will see if it is a hit or not. You know, any kind of treat that you can make that's fairly healthy, where they actually like, and you think, oh, okay, yay. But obviously, like everything, if it's a treat, it needs to be done. It needs to be eaten in moderation, because obviously, even the healthiest of treats, not eaten in moderation, is not healthy for you, right? So, like at the moment at school, her new thing that she says she likes at the tuck shop is a fruit roll, which is really nice and is a healthy treat. But obviously too much of it is not very healthy either. So these look quite good actually. I think these are going to work out way better. And then I'm going to pop them in the fridge. And then when they are done, I will take some photos and I will post them on my Facebook. Add in the extra flour, and I think the xanthan gum has made a massive difference. So the recipe calls for a half a cup of coconut flour, but I've used a mix of tapioca and coconut because that's what I have. So the flavor might not be quite the same because I'm not using just straight coconut flour, but it's half a cup of coconut flour, half a cup of mashed banana, a quarter cup of peanut butter, quarter cup of honey or maple syrup, half a teaspoon of vanilla essence, and 2 tablespoons of mini chocolate chips. That is the actual recipe. And I have changed it to 1 cup of coconut of gluten-free flour with 3 teaspoons of xanthan gum, half a cup of mashed banana, half a cup of peanut butter, half a cup of maple syrup, vanilla essence, and then I've used Oreo cookies instead of chocolate chips, and then I'm rolling it instead of putting it into a square and cutting it. But if you wanted to, you could lay it flat on a tray, make it nice and flat, and then once it's set, then you can cut it up into squares if you want, or rectangles. They say that in an air container, you can keep them in an airtight container up to a week. So I'm going to pop this into the fridge and I'm going to leave it for 2 hours that they say, and then I'll have a look and see what happens. I'll cut it open as well. Also cut it open, take it because it's round instead of square, and I'll go from there. I'm actually almost probably, I think what I might just do is I might, because the other batch has not come up very nicely, so it's very, very soft in there. So what I might just do with that one is I might just add some flour to it to thicken it up, and xanthan gum, and then I'll lay it flat again and then try and cut it into squares. But that's me. It's a short one this week. But next week we're gonna start. I'm hoping, yeah. I think from next week we're gonna start doing like proper lives. Not that this isn't proper lives, but next week I'm gonna start doing. We need to get our Easter range out, so I'm gonna be doing all the Easter stuff that we're planning on doing for Easter. From next week, yeah, there's a few different things, well, one or two different things, not a lot of different things, but a few different things. Yeah, in prep for Easter that I'm going to start doing. And yeah, then obviously as time goes on, when I start getting more orders, then I'll start going live more and more, so that I can show you what I've been doing in my kitchen. Anyway, guys, have a super duper weekend, and I will catch you next week, Wednesday. It's something to do with Easter. Bye.